Hello, everyone. My name is Chloe,
My name is Rose.
And I'm Isabella.
and we're going to be going over the Facebook data hack.
So before we start, I want to introduce this project. This project is about understanding how Facebook users process big data hacks like Cambridge Analytica scandal and how media coverage influences what they know. We are focusing on whether people are just catching the basics from the headlines or if they're dig deeper into the technical details and some social impacts of these events. The reason why we choose this topic is because data privacy is a huge concern right now. Actually, data privacy affects everyone, and they just show how vulnerable we are all when we are person information gets mishandled. So last but not least, it's also essential to observe which is the correct information in society.
These are our three hypotheses that we came up with from the research we gathered. So our first one was, how has the average individual on social media understood the Facebook data hack as an event, and what information do they know? Our second one was, most people's take on the Facebook data hack sticks to the big headlines and basic facts rather than diving into the technical details or the broader social impact. And our third one was, do people who heard about the Facebook Cambridge Analytica breach on social media get their data shared without their say and used for political ads? And do they see the impact differently than those who learned it about the traditional news? And then for our participant criteria, our Facebook users with diverse awareness of data security and privacy concerns. And we focused on participants with high to moderate engagement on Facebook. The groups that were a part of the survey and interviews we conducted were also college group students, working groups, and technology groups. We were looking for Facebook users with various levels of awareness about data security and social media privacy concerns. And our ideal participants were ones who primarily do use Facebook to stay either connected with friends and family, share personal updates, or like follow pages of interest. But we also branched out to participants who have that moderate, like low level of engagement with the platform, but still consider it like a social media that they know and are aware of and use.
All right. And this is the process of the different experiences that we face when doing this study. So the challenges that we went through was we did end up at the wrong destination. So we initially lacked clarity in the objectives and the direction of this study. So we did have to communicate and clear some things up about what we wanted to showcase in this study. Like, was it what our groups knew of the data hack, or were they even aware of it? So we had some clarification there. Our activities and efforts were not aligned with the instructions of the assignment, and we were able to adapt and figure out and change what we needed to really present this study well. We also discovered that there was a lack of diversity in the groups. So we first started off with just college students, but we decided to expand to the working groups, college student groups, and technology groups. Thankfully, we were able to overcome all of these challenges. So we found the correct purpose of what we wanted to showcase, which was our three different hypotheses that we showcased in the earlier slide. And we also added the tech group and the working group to find a more broader perspective on what people knew about the Cambridge Analytica Facebook data hack. And then the methods that we went over was actually utilizing a survey. So we sent out a survey, which was a Google form format. We sent out that survey to the different working groups, which is again the working, college, and the tech groups. We wanted to do a survey so that we can gather quantitative data about members' experiences, their opinions, and their challenges in the different groups. Yes. So do we find the answer of our hypothesis? For all three, we said yes. For hypothesis one, we said many understood the Facebook breach and how users have been affected by leaked private information. For hypothesis two, we also said yes. Most people usually just skim the headlines instead of digging into deeper details of what happened in the scandal. And then for hypothesis three, we learned that from a misinformation being given and low awareness about supporting the issue. That's what the different groups decided about the scandal. All right, we will now be going into our findings. So for hypothesis one, which is, how has the average individual on social media understood the Facebook data hack as an event, and what information do they know? So for our first hypothesis, we found out that there are several different details of information that our participants from the survey knew about the Facebook data breach. So our top percentages of knowledge from our participants consist of 67% of our participants knew about the types of data compromised and 50% knew about the numbers of users affected. So that is our top percentages when it came to what our survey takers really knew about the event. And then when asking them about how significant do they think the political impact of the breach was, which also ties back to how they understood the event and the impact of it, 60% of our participants thought it held great significance when it came to the politics in our society. With that being said, with hypothesis one, the average individual knows a great deal of what occurred during the Cambridge Analytica Facebook data scandal, and they also know that the aftermath impacted our society in a really great consensus. I'll now be passing it on to hypothesis two findings.
Yeah, so about the S2, most people taken on the Facebook data hack stick to the big headline and basic facts rather than diving into the technical details or the broader social impact. So yeah, as Chloe said, we also find this one. And this result is really interesting because there are almost 62% of people will follow up and some people just read it. But when I interviewed someone, she told me she had seen headline about millions of users' data being hacked, but she didn't dig deeper because she figured out it was just another big tech scandal. And even though she saw the few posts on Twitter about how they collect data from the friends of users, she still don't take the time to understand how or why it happened. But imagine how much more we will understand about data hacks if we actually dug deeper. The other chart is about how people know the facts and most stick it to skimming headlines, leaving the deeper details untouched. After all, when it comes to Facebook data, awareness is all over the place, right? We both know what is a Facebook data hacks, but what is the truth and what is going on? I'm gonna passing on to the hypothesis three.
Hypothesis three, our question again was, do people who heard about the Facebook Cambridge Analytica breach on social media get their data shared without their say and used for political ads? And do they see the impact differently than those who learned about it from the traditional news? From our survey that we collected, 50% of the people heard the information about this breach from social media, and 46.7% heard about it from the traditional news. From our survey, also, everyone really believed that the political impact of the breach was significant, as like everyone uses social media. So this hack, even though they might not use Facebook as much, it still applies to them because this kind of breach and stolen of information from profiles could be done to any social media and on any social media. So this was important and significant for everyone. And many also feel that social media is more reliable for learning about these type of events of like where everyone needs to hear about it and everyone is involved than like the regular traditional news on the TV and just other articles that we see. From the chart and pick that we provided, it shows that even though more people feel reliable on social media for news, they still consider the traditional news being more, they take it more seriously and they view it as more impactful. And then our conclusion.
Yeah, so in conclusion, what we found is that most people just skim the headlines and don't dig into the details when it comes to events like Facebook data hacks. Also, awareness about the data is all over the place, and social media and news outlets definitely shape how people see things. But yeah, there's a lot of misinformation and low awareness, which makes it harder for people to really understand what's going on. For next time, we will try to gather more data and compare different platforms like Twitter and Instagram to get a better idea of how people react. We will also dive deeper into different groups to see how people know about things like data hack, so we can find better ways to understand what is misinformation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.